Timeout talk.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another weekly edition of Timeout Talks, which is brought to you by the one and only Minifan Network. We are also live on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Timeout Talks is brought to you by Chase and Thrills Custom T-shirts and accessories, the Ice Shaker, Make It Mac, and of course, we are proudly a part of the Kirk Minahan Show and the Minifan Network. So many sponsors, so much to get to there. Ben, we're back. We've got a bunch of topics for you guys tonight. We're going to talk some quick little speed show here, but we're going to get you UFC 311 recap. We're going to, of course, break down a lot of stuff that happened, a lot of stakes, a lot of teams dropping out, a couple upsets in just, I got to give the tip of the cap to Ben a little bit later. We'll get to the divisional round, and of course, we will preview the two matchups, the AFC Championship, and we'll finish off with the AFC Championship, and of course, we'll get to the NFC Championship. But Ben, we're finally here, 4 teams left. But before we get to that, good UFC card, and man, oh man, can anybody stop Islam Makhachev?
No, Josh, that was too easy for him. That was too easy for him over there. I knew as soon as you got Renato over there and everything, it wasn't going to be a fight. It was going to be an easy one. Another one right there, Yeri too. Yeri was looking pretty good. Jamal Hill maybe bit off a little more than he could chew on that one, but Islam, he's the best. He's the best pound for pound. I was just bummed that I want to see Arman, Josh. I want to see that fight eventually. I want to see that rematch, Arman versus Islam too. That's going to be entertaining. But Renato, I don't think he was ready for that. But it was a good effort from him. But the fight of the night obviously was the Merab one, Josh. Merab versus Umar. That was just a brawl, and now it's what's next for Merab. Merab. I see everybody was like Merab too, Josh. Josh said that he earned a little respect from him in that one, and that's what Merab is. Merab is just going to go every single round full throttle, and eventually just took down Umar. He just wore him down. You haven't seen that in the UFC so far, and he put it on display right there. So I'm interested to see the next challenge from Merab, but he's my favorite right now, Josh. I know I was a big Volt guy, but I'm a big Merab guy now. He's entertaining. I love the showboating too.
Oh, I couldn't agree anymore, Ben. I just, before coming into this, watching him beat O'Malley, I was just, come on. I'm an O'Malley guy. Like, how many more of these grapplers can we see? They're all champions. I was just kind of sick of it, but he's gained so much of my respect. Good tip of the cap to for going up there. He really is like a mini Habib. It's funny the way that they fight. But yeah, Merab, just that gas tank does not stop, Ben. I know Joe Rogan, DC, Joe Anik, they were all just talking about, is this guy's gas tank going to give out? Will Merab, does anybody have a bigger or better gas tank than Merab? I think the answer is no. I think the booth all said it was no. Good UFC card. I liked what I saw out of Yeri. I'm done with the Jamal Hill. Let's put Jamal Hill to rest. Oh, yeah. And yeah, Merab doing his thing. And as you said, pound for pound, best fighter in the world. It's got to be, or you know what? We can. I don't want to throw shade at Alex Pereira, but Islam is for sure.
It's different.
For sure, knocking on that door.
Yeah, that's tough, Josh. That's a tough one to, sort of compare and contrast just with the different weight classes, but
for sure,
I'd be willing to just put it out there. I mean, Alex has gone, throughout the divisions too. It's like 1A, 1B. I've got real no gripe with whoever you want to put right there. So, but those two guys are just so dominant, and Merab's sneaking up in there. He said it's just entertaining. He just doesn't stop. I've never seen it like that. I know me and Josh have been watching it for a while, but we've been picking up some pace on it. But I just never seen somebody just every single round he just gets at me. Yeah, I think he set the record for shots or whatever. I think they call it shots or takedown attempts. He had like 40 something, 40 something in this
I
last
saw
one.
that. Yeah.
He took it. I think DC was talking about it too one time. He just said he's going to do it again, and he literally shot 3 straight times in a row. He got denied twice, but he got him on the third one. So he's just got no fight. He's got no. He's got And that's what I like. And everyone doesn't really like the showboating. I like the showboating. Just put on a little entertainment, at the end of the rounds and getting up, running around a little. I find that a little entertaining. If he starts losing and doing it, it's a different story, Josh. But I like Marab so far. He's the most entertaining guy out there right now.
Yeah, Ben. I mean, you're showboating, but hey, at the end of the day, he's winning. We got a little technical difficulties, but hey, it is a podcast. As long as Ben's frozen like that, it's all right. As long as we can hear him fine. But yeah, Ben, to your point, like I think this was the weekend. I know you had already said it, and it's actually, you beat me to the punch there, but this was the weekend where he gained my respect. He did the takedowns. I mean, and it's just the beginning of the fight. Like, Umar kind of held his own, and you saw it was difficult for Marab to take him down. It was like, oh, we're seeing two world-class athletes in terms of grappling and takedowns. A lot of them were stiffed. Umar, some could even argue, he probably won the first round and a half.
Yeah.
So, but as the fight went on, Ben, and as I've kind of mentioned and you touched on here, is he just gets better. And as you said, what was it? Yeah, 40-something takedowns. Like, he will just come at you and continue to try and take you down. If he can't take you down the first time, he's just going to continue and try and wear you out, and that's what he did. But great card. I thought it lived up to the hype. Renato, I mean, did the best he could. It's just you're going up against a brick wall in Islam. Islam, like as you said to Alex Pereira, I mean, those two are like 1A, 1B. I think you hit it on the nail there. Both pound for pound in our eyes. And it's just, you can come out, you can show flashes in the pan. I'm pretty sure Alex Pereira fought some guy. I'm blanking on his name. I think it was Buckley. No, not Buckley.
Roundtree.
I don't know. Roundtree. Yeah, Roundtree was taking a beating and a beating and a beating. And then it was just, all right, this guy can only take so much. Alex Pereira wins the fight. But, it's just, as they go on, they just get better. And I'm curious to see what's next for Marab. I know that they said Sean O'Malley. As much as I'm a Sean O'Malley guy, I don't want to see that fight for him again. I think it's just not a good matchup for him. And to be a grappler, Ben, I mean, to be a champion, you got to be a grappler. Look at John Jones. Look at Islam. Look at Marab. I mean, I think the striking can only take you so far. And after a while, to be the cream of the crop, to be the top of the top, you've got to be able to do both pretty well. And, Marab might not have that power, but it's all right. He can take a lot of shots. He can throw some punches, and he's going to wear you out by taking you down, Ben.
Yeah, hopefully, Marab's doing everything over there, and hopefully, we get to see something good for him. Hopefully, we get to see something. I'm not really sure as of right now who we're going to see, but I'm trying to think on the fly. Josh, but the cat I got into. The cat's in right now too.
It's all right. We can't see anything because the screen. It's all right. The kitty wants to join the show. That's okay. But we can't see. We've got a frozen Ben right now. That's all right.
Frozen?
We can hear.
Okay. Well,
still frozen. We can hear you.
I mean, I'm moving on the screen. I'm moving on this. It's kind of strange. Josh.
That's all right. Yeah, restart it. We'll get Ben back here in a second. But we're talking UFC 311. We are again speed show. We're here till 7:30, but. We are going to change tunes here, and let's just talk about some of those divisional round matchups. You had the Texans and the Chiefs. That didn't quite go the way we wanted for the Texans, but Patrick Mahomes and his crew getting the job done, as well as the Eagles, the Commanders. Who saw that coming? Commanders and Eagles in a huge divisional matchup, and we get the rematch of the Bills and the Chiefs, but let's just kind of rewind for a little bit, and let's start off talking about those Texans and Chiefs. A game where it was just, Texans did the best they could. They had a great run, a lot of injuries. Injuries plagued them the entire season. C.J. Stroud hobbling on one leg. You had Nico Collins just trying to. Here we go. Now we got a clean cut then here. Here we go. But we're talking Texans. We're talking Chiefs. That little divisional round matchup there. Chiefs winning that one, and Ben, it's just you can't fight the refs and you can't fight the talent, whether you want to complain about the refs or not, as much as I do. Chiefs were going to win that game. They were poised to win that game. It was in Arrowhead. They're not losing a game in Arrowhead yet. And I started off saying I liked what the Texans were doing. Defense this year was stellar, a little underrated in my book. I didn't think they were going to be that good. I know that they're kind of led. D'Amico Ryans is leading the charge there in Houston for them, but I don't know. I mean, they did the best they could. There's only so much you can do playing in Arrowhead. Patrick Mahomes is poised for the moment. We all knew it was going to be a close scoring game. We knew it was going to be, low scoring affair for the Chiefs, but just things started to get out of hand. They had a fumble. There's only so much they can do, and just missing a lot of firepower, Ben. I like what the Texans have done. 2 straight years of winning a playoff game, something that the Cowboys should be able to do. Yes, Ben is back, but I don't know. They did the best they could, and James Burke is a fraud. He said he wants the Bills, and he actually likes them. He's a Pats fan. That is true. James did say he wants the Bills to win this weekend to, I think, save a little bit of a dynasty talk. But speaking of the Chiefs, Ben, I mean, they continue to roll.
Yeah, I know you talked about the refs a little too, Josh. Some of those, obviously, roughing the passer. It's a little dicey. That's a little dicey.
Yeah, one on Danielle Hunter, man.
Yeah, that second one. The first one's a little iffy. Yeah, obviously, you could make a little more case for it, but yeah, that second one was pretty ridiculous. Not a good look for the refs. Not a good look for the refs at all in that one. But I think, as you kind of said, I didn't hear what you were saying before, but I think you kind of outlined it. It's the Chiefs were going to win that one. They got more talent. Patrick Mahomes, when it comes down to it, him and Kelsey are finding the groove now in the playoffs. Or was that all season for me in fantasy? I don't know, but they're finding their groove right now. So he's got his go-to option. Hollywood Brown had a nice couple catches. He's getting going. Patrick Mahomes is finding these other guys right now. Pacheco's back healthy. Kareem Hunt scored, so he's got his running game back. I think ultimately they were going to win it, but it's not a good look. Not a good look when you're getting all those calls, especially with Mahomes scrambling and making those plays and obviously flopping around there. It wasn't a good look from him on that one. He's better than that. He doesn't need to be flopping like that. He can beat the Texans on his own. He doesn't need the help of the refs. But yeah, I think ultimately, Josh, it was a Chiefs game. They were just going to win it no matter what. Even if the odds were stacked a little against them, the Texans, but it was a good fight from them. It was a good, great fight. I think they got a lot to look forward to, Josh.
For sure.
That offense, it was just, they were injured. They got no Diggs, no Taintel, obviously, with that horrific injury, and they were just banged up all around. That defense did what it could. They stepped up when they needed to, but ultimately, just Patrick Mahomes was too much. So. And everyone wants to see this. No offense to Texans, Bills, even Texans, Ravens, but you want to see this. You want to see the Chiefs, Bills. I think the NFL was maybe pretty hopeful to see this matchup, and I think everyone else was too. But this is the best shot. You gave a little tease to it too, Josh. But I think this is the best team we got to beat them in Arrowhead. This is after that Ravens game, and we can get into that Mark Andrews catch and everything. But the Bills, they look good. They look good. Defense obviously has some flaws and everything, but I'm looking forward to this matchup, Josh. Texans got a little robbed, but nothing to complain about too much. Nothing to really complain about.
I mean, and it was. I mean, I can sit here and I can say, the refs. I do think that is an issue. I'm definitely.
Yeah, no, that's what they got to take that, Josh.
Yeah, take that into consideration for this weekend. And I think one of the refs that was there every time you refs the Chiefs game this season, they're like 4 or 5-0. I mean. They were going to lose that game either way. I couldn't agree with you anymore. They did the best that they could. Shout out to D'Amico Ryan's defense. Very stellar defense. They kept it interesting for as well as they could, but the game just got out of hand from them. But a matchup here, Ben, that I really want to take some time to talk about. I did not see this coming. I thought the Commanders would keep it a little close, but you're thinking they're in the Lions' den. They're in Detroit. This is Detroit's year. The 49ers fall off. They still got the Eagles, but, they can beat the Eagles. They've shown that they can do it. Cowboys completely fell off. Packers they're eliminated, so they don't got to worry about a divisional foe. The Vikings go down. And they lose. Jaden Daniels, JD5, continues to shock the world, showing me again this remnant shades of that Bengals team. When they made that Super Bowl run where it was just upset after upset after upset, and then they went into Kansas City and they upset the Chiefs. So, I mean, now this is a similar matchup here for Jaden Daniels. I mean, they're going into Philadelphia. They beat up on the Lions. I mean, we knew the game was going to go over, and we knew it was going to be a slug-a-fest and a scoring-a-fest here, but I don't know. This Commanders team is underrated. Dan Quinn's done a phenomenal job plugging in a lot of my Cowboys guys. Their offseason was great. They still got plenty of money to show for next season. I mean, they've been playing with house money, Ben, since the first week of the playoffs. They were playing with house money. Last week, they're playing with house money. This week, they're playing with house money, and they can win this game. This is a very winnable game. On the other hand, here, the Lions, you got to think, I know that they were riddled by injuries, but that's a game you got to win. You have the veteran experience over them. You're losing both of your offensive and defensive coordinators. You know, a lot of people saying they could take a step back. A lot of teams virtually looking at history of things. When they lose both of their coordinators, they kind of take a step back. NFC's only getting better and younger, so tough game, Ben, and I'm just going to leave it with this. I mean, you called it. You said the Commanders were going to be solid. You know, I know you said they were going to win the division. They didn't win the division, but hey, they're fighting in a divisional matchup in the NFC Championship, so things can't get better anymore for Washington.
Yeah, no,
Could be.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it right there, Josh. I appreciate the credit on that one. That's what I was going to say. I got to, sort of word it a little differently. I thought they were going to win the division. I didn't think they were going to go this far. I didn't think, I'll admit that. I didn't think they were going to go NFC Championship. I thought the Lions were going to sort of just end this, good story, and Jane Daniels was just going to get ready for next year to take the leap. But it was a crazy game. I did not expect to make some of those throws, and that Lions defense was just obviously so banged up, and he took advantage of it. He just did whatever he wanted, and when they got that pick six, that's when I was like, oh man, this is actually gonna happen. It was kind of crazy. Obviously, got a feel for Detroit. As you pointed out, Josh, I mean, this was lined up for them. This was their year. Everybody sort of crowned at them. I know, I'm just talking with people. I mean, hey, you're thinking Lions, who the Lions going to play on the other side? Lions, Chiefs, Lions, Bills, what kind of matchup? Lions, Ravens. Now they're out. Now, I mean, I just didn't see it coming at all, and I love this Sanders team. Jaden Daniels saved my fantasy year, but I just didn't see it coming. I didn't think he was ready for this, but now the Patriots fans, are you a little upset? If you're Patriots fans, instead of Daniels, I know that's been a question everyone's been throwing out there. That's for another day, but
for sure better. Matchup, for sure better right matchup. Now.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No. I know some people might say otherwise, but those are the loyal Pats fans. But yeah, no, he's definitely a little better, and I'd probably take him over May right now too. But this Commanders one, Josh, is just, I don't know. I feel for the Lions and everything, but you got to regroup. You got the roster still. You can just replace those coordinators and get going. But I mean, the NFC East battle. I think are you a little jealous, Josh? I mean, it's the Eagles Commanders. It's the whole NFC East in there, and I'm just kind of shocked that we got this matchup. I'm excited for it, but I'm just kind of shocked.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I thought, all right, maybe they can win a playoff game or two. Not two. I mean, maybe they can win a playoff game. Again, I keep hammering the same, but they're playing with house money. They're a young team. They've got a veteran coach who's done it before, and clearly it's working. I mean, you just look at this team, Ben, and honestly, right now, it really is. It's 55-45 in my eyes, maybe 60-40, but I mean, home field plays a factor here for me, and I have my personal thoughts on this, but I thought last week that the Lions, it was going to be kind of a close game like we talked about, and then the Lions were just going to kind of take it from there. But I don't want to take too much time recapping this because I want to get to a lot of the next two games. But this game I was not seeing coming, Ben, and again, I'm driving in the car, I'm leaving work tonight, and I'm like, damn, I got to give Ben credit again because I mean, I know he said they were going to win the division, but I don't even care. He said they were going to be great this year. I mean, they're a top 2 team in the NFC right now. I mean, when it's all said and done, and they're the draft pick, that's fine. I mean, they've got money up the yin-yang, and if you're a Cowboys fan, you've got to be worried about this team. And sooner or later, I said it last week, the Giants are going to get better too. So we'll go quickly with this one. I mean, I'm watching it. I'm thinking, oh, the Eagles got it. Saquon breaks off that. I mean, running for over 200, almost 200 yards again. It doesn't matter. He's knocking on Terrell Davis's all-time rushing record in a season, including regular season and postseason. Team's unbelievable. They're destined. I knew that they were going to, at the very least, be in this NFC Championship since like week 9. Everybody doubted me. Oh, the Eagles have flaws. They have issues. It starts with their head coach, but I think the talent has kind of overshown that. Good little run here for the Rams. I know they were trying to do it for LA. I kept saying the joke online. I think the Eagles put the fire out. Wherever. A little insensitive comment. I thought it was a little funny. But, yeah, Philly did what they had to do. I mean, another one with the Rams. They're just an old team, Ben. Puka Nacua is carrying that offense on his back, alongside Kyron Williams. But, I mean, Matt Stafford's done a hell of a job there. Same as Sean McVay. They've battled some injuries too. They've kind of gotten older, and they've kind of adapted as much as they could. Eagles, you knew they were going to win that matchup, Ben. And I'll go quick here. But Ravens, Bills, that was – and you could kind of touch up on both too before we turn over. I'll just kind of throw it all in once for you here. But this was a good matchup. I mean, somebody said it to me today. They were missing Zay Flowers out there on that field. But there's the biggest issue here in – I've kind of swayed is – when it comes to most valuable player, it comes to the better quarterback on the field. It was Josh Allen, and it's Josh Allen by a landslide. He can run as well as – not as well, but pretty close to Lamar Jackson. He's bigger. He's stronger. He's got a better arm, and guess what? He's got the better IQ. This game came down to Lamar Jackson's mess-ups, came down to Mark Andrews' drop as well, and the Buffalo Bills are rolling their way into Kansas City because of that, Ben. Again, Lamar Jackson in the playoffs, very shaky in big moments. Thank you, David.
Brilliantly said. I like it. I like it over there. No, I mean, to be honest, I kind of forgot about that Eagles-Rams one, Josh. That Ravens-Bills was kind of a classic. Yeah, no, I mean, just to quickly sum up that one, that's Saquon just took over. That's what shows you why you pay those guys in free agency, like you said, why Washington paid everybody. Well, you got to get that premium talent. You got to pay for it. And Saquon with that offensive line now, and just in a good offense, finally now with Daniel Jones and Jalen Hurts, who can just stretch the field and just create so many more options for him. You saw what this Eagles team can truly do. Stafford kept it in there. Like I said, Puka, Cooper Kupp, Higbee had a good game over there. Kyron Williams had some nice moments in there, but Eagles just too much at home. That defense was just too smothering for Stafford. It was a little closer, a little late touchdown from them. The little late touchdown kind of, made it a little closer. Obviously, they had that last possession, but they had just that deep bomb to Robinson, and they kind of choked away in the red zone. So a little still looked, but Eagles, I'm interested in seeing that Commanders matchup, Joe. But for the Bills, Ravens, too many mistakes, like you said, too many turnovers. There's 3. I think Lamar had 3 in total to Josh Allen 0, and that says it all right there. Josh Allen he kept the ball secure, and the Bills are moving on. I don't like rooting for the Bills, Josh, but I gotta get behind them a little.
I think a lot of people are. I think America is, unless you're a Swiftie or you're a Chiefs fan. But I mean, one quick note I want to talk about here, just quick. We can last 5 minutes to kind of recap these next 2 games, but didn't want this to go unnoticed. I mean, this guy, speaking of the Bears and speaking of, the Lions here, the Chicago Bears hired Ben Johnson, who is, the highly touted offensive guru. We've seen flashes of it this weekend. I mean, sometimes you thought a little bit too much into the bag of tricks against the Commanders this weekend, but the offensive guru going in that, another thing the Lions got to watch out for. I mean, pairing them up with Caleb Williams, man, Ben, I like this. I like this better than the Raiders. I like this a lot better than the Raiders. I like it better than going to Jacksonville. I think this was his best destination, and I don't know why the hell the Cowboys didn't give him a shot or give him a reach, but maybe they knew he was going to go there all along. But just want to throw that one in there before we get to our picks. But hey, watch out! They're going to have to watch out in Detroit for him. Taylor Swift getting another honorary Super Bowl ring. Oof. No, Johnny, no.
I can sing him a little lullaby. Hopefully the internet's a little better when I do that for him. But no, I think it's a good hire, Josh. I gotta agree on that one just quickly. You got Caleb Williams. You got the most weapons over there, and that guy he's an offensive. They say he's an offensive genius. That Jameson Williams toss didn't really look too good. Don't really know what kind of play that was, but hopefully he can do everything else that he was doing in Detroit over in Chicago. So I think that was a good move. Good move from Chicago.
For sure, Ben. I mean, hey, that's if you got Caleb Williams, you want him there. I'm gonna leave this for Ben when we wrap up the show, but I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no on that. But here we go. This is the moment we've all kind of wanted here. This is what we've the last 4 teams here. Washington Commanders travel in Philadelphia. This is the divisional matchup. This is all everybody wants to know what Josh and Ben think for this one. I'm going to start. I'm going to keep it nice, short, and sweet here. This is a great game. This is, I thought the Eagles had swept the series. Not true. Each team kind of getting the better of each other. I think this is going to come down to defense. I do. I think both of these teams offensively are going to figure it out. Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts, they're both – Jaden Daniels looks like he's been in the league for 10 years already. Jalen Hurts is a gamer. I've always respected him. I know he gets a lot of unfair criticism, but – it's going to come down to defense. It's going to be mid-20s game. I think the spread's looking at about 40, 45, I'll say, in Josh's world. But comes down to defense, and it comes down to home field advantage. I like what the Commanders have done. Really, really tip of the cap for Brian Robinson, Jaden Daniels, some of those guys defensively. Shout out to that blank on the corner had an interception this weekend. He's from Massachusetts as well. But this Eagles defense is just legit. They're playing at home. I think they get the win at home. They're running behind the best running back in the league, arguably an MVP candidate. They've got the better team offensively. They're more poised. They've been here before, Ben. They're going to go back. As much as I don't want to say it, I've kind of had a hunch for the Eagles going all the way for a couple weeks now. They're going to get the job done 27-20. I think the Commanders are almost there. They're young, and they can only go up from here, Ben.
All of it makes sense, Josh. All of that makes sense, but I got to take the Commanders. I'm taking the Commanders.
Wow, he's going to do it.
I might as well. I haven't taken them. I didn't take them against Detroit, and they made me by my decision. But this is the team. I've been riding with them all year, Josh. Might as well pick them now. We got to be a little different too. I don't want to just take the Eagles. Yeah, obviously Jeff is right about that. The Eagles at home.
I like it though, Ben.
I'm not saying listen. I'm not saying for betting wise. I'm not saying back this pick. This isn't a smart pick, but this is where I'm going with my guy. The Commanders proved me wrong. That secondary of the Eagles didn't look too good against Matt Stafford. Daniels was looking really good with McLaurin, Diami Brown. Zach Ertz had a touchdown over there. As you mentioned, Brian Robinson's healthy now. So he's back in the fold. That team's a little different when he's healthy. I'm going to back the Commanders. It's not my best pick, not my most confident one, Josh, but I owe it to them. I thought they were going to have a great season. I'm going to go all in, Josh. Go all in.
Ben is all in on the Commanders. I like it. Hey, we're split on that. We'll see if we're split on this. But Jeff coming in, Josh Allen needs to win this game for America. Yeah. I'm going to go quick, and then as always, I'm going to turn it over to Ben. Huge game here. This could be the Super Bowl matchup. If they could switch the Bills or the Chiefs to the NFC, this is what everybody wants to see. And this comment here is I couldn't agree with it anymore. And this is why I'm going to go with one team. We've seen it before. We've seen the battles. I like the Buffalo Bills, and I'm going to tell you why. It's now or never. The Chiefs, I look at the Chiefs, I think they are very beatable. I think this Buffalo Bills defense is very, very slept on. They've been told all week last week the Ravens are the bigger and the badder team. They beat a way more of a formidable opponent in the Ravens than the Texans. I think the Chiefs, they're just scraping by, and at some point, Ben, the Bills have to do it. I like Josh Allen. Patrick Mahomes hasn't done the best this season. I'm going for the underdog. One of these underdog teams is going to win. It's not going to be Chiefs and Eagles. Please, I'll blast my head off if it is. I like the Buffalo Bills. That's the team I'm rolling for the rest of the playoffs, who I would want to win. That's who I think is going to win. Josh Allen gets it done. He's going to prove why he is the MVP, and he's going to prove me wrong on my Lamar Jackson take. I like the Buffalo Bills to win. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to give a special shout out to Menners and for John. as well, of course, best producer in the world, John, to helping us out, getting us ready for tonight. But huge matchup there. I like the Bills, and thank you guys. I'm going to turn it over to Ben.
Yeah, thank you guys as always. Appreciate that from Josh. Appreciate Josh too, and the producers for putting all this together. I got you, Nick. I got you. I'll keep it short and sweet on this one. Let's do it for America. To back Jeff's comment up, let's go Bills. I like Buffalo. Yeah, I like Buffalo, Washington. It's a good one for Marianne. I like that comments. I like that matchup. You just can't. Don't give me the Chiefs, Josh. Don't give me the Chiefs. Come on, Bills. Josh Allen. As I mentioned earlier in the show, this is the team that's going to do it. The Texans didn't have the firepower. Nobody else, has really done anything to sort of get there, get past that hump. Josh Allen and them have that. Josh Allen and this new renovated offense will get this done. We'll do it for America, Josh. And to answer Nick's question, no, he will not have more rings than Tom Brady.
Timeout talk.